presents eat my reads. Alright guys, good evening, good morning, or good whatever. Today I'm gonna be doing a session where I play 3 tables of NL200, and what I'm gonna be looking at is, I thought about it, and I think I put myself in kind of a tough spot here when I play not my normal limit, especially on full tilt, since a lot of the regulars out there are very prone to know my name and know who I am and stuff like that. I'll wait a bit. Yeah, like I said, they probably, a couple of them at least, know who I am, and when I do drop down in limits to make a video like that, I don't have any read on anyone. I'm like, I don't know anyone at these limits, so they might have a small advantage over me in the beginning of a session. What I'm gonna be working on today on the 3 tables is tell you guys what to look for when you are playing against unknowns, and in my particular case against unknowns who might know me. I'm gonna be trying to get reads on people as quickly as possible, and then I'm gonna be trying to use these reads and try to adapt to these. I opened up a notepad instead of a 4 table, so every time something comes up, every time someone does something stupid or not stupid or standard or whatever, I'm gonna try to take as many notes as possible to show you guys what I'm looking at when I don't know someone and I want to get a read on him. Just a second, let me fire up my poker tracker. Alright. Yeah, so like I said, I'll show you what kind of read I'm gonna be trying to take, because I know a lot of you guys might have some problems not adjusting to people, but you might not know what to look for. What I'm gonna be looking for a lot is evaluate like the general poker IQ of players. Like in general, I'm not gonna be playing long enough to like create an history as deep as like if it was my regular game and I would be playing every day with these guys, but I'll try to evaluate as quick as possible. Yeah, how far they are thinking when they play poker, and what kind of lines they are likely to use with certain hands. Will I be someone's asking me, this is a vid. Yep. Yep. So like I said, I'm just gonna have to reevaluate my betting amounts. Alright. So yeah, how he is gonna think. Wait a minute. Just hope tables are not gonna empty because I'm sitting in. Probably just a coincidence, but that would be gay. So yeah, how far they are gonna think. I'm not gonna post the video, pretty much never. I'm just gonna go on the fly, try to tell you guys, well, 1 table broke. Yeah, try to show you guys what I'm looking for when I want to get quick reads on players I don't know. So yeah, 1 table broke there. I'm gonna replace it. Just a second. This looks good. So let's get started. I'm gonna try to play my best every end. I opened up Poker Tracker. I have only 3 stats just to help me. I always play with those VPIP pre-flop raise and the aggression factor that I don't even use. Okay, so table 1 upper left, table 2 upper right, and table 3 down left. Table 1 we get a quick note on Eba to call. He's gonna limp his button. Limps buttons likely to suck. So yeah, that's something that I'm gonna take a note. I don't take a lot of notes, guys, but I'm gonna try today to put on paper what I think about all the mental notes that I take, because I take a lot of mental notes on people when I am playing, but not many notes in particular. So yeah, like I said, the notepad is gonna be all my mental notes that I take on people. So let's go. Queens again here. And yeah, I'll try to give you hints, guys, about how to adjust to all people. So here I 3-bet this guy 2 times in a row. I don't know if he knows me. I don't even know if he's a regular. I thought he would be very likely to play me back here. I'll take a note here. Selector down 6. I sit down and 3-bet him times in row. Folds. Row. Folds both. Wait a second. Okay. Okay. I hold the 2. All right. Okay, yeah, I was talking about that. Likely to play me back soon. That's kind of mental note I'm gonna be taking here. Nothing to do here. Here a poster and he check raise. That's kind of weird, but whatever. I don't have any possible option with that 4-6. On table 3, we send open limp by up and yes. Open limp, tough, likely to suck. Yeah, I'm gonna try Canik is open limping here. Canik 79. Open limp. Let me take a stab at that. Open limp, UTG. Likely to suck. Probably all my notes are gonna be this guy is likely to suck by the end of the session. But anyway, let's see where this leads us. But I always end up thinking that everyone else but me sucks. So yeah, you might get a taste of that. I'm gonna stop making stupid stuff real soon. That's the beginning. Alright. Cool. Let's go. Sa 1978 just open limped as well. Oh, or he posted. I don't know. Anyway, he probably sucks. So we have a big indicator. One that doesn't lie very often. That already 4 players at our tables are gonna be fishes. And we took that pretty quick without even playing a hand. So that's kind of thing you guys want to be looking for. So yeah, that's open limp or open post. Suck, blah blah blah. So yeah, all the notes that I have on people right now is that they suck. On table 3, I get 3-bet under the gun from under the gun +1 by a guy I don't have any historic for. What I know now on AKNM, I'm not gonna be writing this one guy, but first he sizes 3-bet pretty well, and second he has over a 100 big blind stack. Every time someone doesn't have a 100 big blind stack, I like insta tag him as a fish, and that's very unless sometimes you see some weird regulars with like who always buy in for 50 big blinds or stuff like that. But yeah, every time someone is a big 100 big blinds and over, he's more likely to be a reg or a good player. So yeah, up and Yaz just keeps on limping. So he's probably a fish, already playing like 38-25. I bet the flop with my flush draw. That's kind of see my bluff. And I hit the turn. I think he's probably like someone who's open limping a lot, is the kind of guy who's not gonna put a lot pressure, probably more of the calling station type, never folding a nice there for sure. I'm just gonna keep betting and hope he turns some weird two pairs. If I had a note already that this guy will open too many pots, then I would be way more likely to go ahead and like check raise that turn or something like that. I was just betting for value there. One other thing I'm gonna be doing a lot when I enter at the new table, or when a new player comes at my table, is to 3-bet them a lot early in the session, just to see how they are gonna react to that. And I'm doing it 2 times here. So yeah, up and yes calls pretty quick. Here I get like insta 4-bet by that guy that I thought he was likely to play me back soon, but I just forgot that he would be likely to do that. I could like, I'm gonna take another note on him. I'm gonna organize that a bit better, guys. Just a second. I could like call and try to float or something, because with the timing he made it. This is ace king very often, but I don't think I can do anything with the 4-7, so I'm just gonna fold this one. Size is 4 bits, a bit small. It's 4 big blind, so I can use that to my advantage later in the session. Here up in yes just bets 2. I'm just gonna float him. And here I flop top pair and he kinda overbets the pot. That's kinda weird. So yeah, anyway. Let me arrange my flush draw gets there on the river. I kinda took a pot controlling type of line, hoping that he would like fire multiple barrels, but with his bet on the flop, which was pretty big, then check back on the turn, I think he's got the flush a lot there. But then again, he's only betting 8. There are a couple of straight drummies. If he had bet like closer to the pot on table 2 here, I think I would have been more likely to fold. But here I'm gonna call. Could have straight drummies or like, yeah, random 2 cards that these kind of bad players have a lot. So table 2, quick note. Should have none. For now, those are kind of like obvious notes that I'm taking, guys. But yeah, they should get a bit more complicated as the session goes on, because I'm just gonna play more hands, more and more hands. Right now I'm just showing you what I'm looking for. So yeah, Sid have none. Sid ha. Here I'm gonna call in position. Sid have none. Open limbs. Then weirdly plays a middle pair. I'm gonna have that as a read on him for the rest of the session. Here I call ace queen on the button against a under the gun open. I flop 2 over and a gut shot, and it gets checked to me. I think it's a great spot to start firing and make everyone fold by the river. That's the kind of spot that if someone in the pack, like being 4 helps me represent so much of a stronger range, especially when I start betting every card. Problem is here, from what we already know from Sid Havnen, he's probably not the type of guy to fold a jack. I think he's gonna be the, we kind of already know that he's a fish, and I don't think that he's likely to fold a jack, even if I bet the turn and the river. He would maybe fold a 10 like by the river, but I don't like the turn card because it puts some, then again he was on the big blind, so that's not really a problem. So yeah, I think being 4 on the flop, he's gonna fold his 5s on the flop. He either has a jack or a 10, and I'm not even sure he's folding a 10 because he looks so much like a calling station. So I'm just gonna check back and hope to it because I don't think I have any folding equity on the turn against that particular guy. Probably against one of the two other guys, I would have rebet the turn just to see how they would have react to it soon in, like early in the session. Now we open shoves, and that's like king queen always. So screw that. Table 3. So yeah, Sid Havnen, he's probably leaving. He looks like he's leaving anyway. So I'll stop taking notes. But he looks like type of fish plays a draw very passively and overbet shoves the river with what I think would be the nuts a lot. So I'm just gonna take a mental note that he's just completely brain dead probably. Table 3, I flop 2 pairs. Turn comes a 10, which is like the worst card in the deck for me. So I decide to pot control the turn and hope to catch a bluff on the river from something like Jack Queen or Ace Jack Ace Queen or any flush draw or stuff like that. And I think pot controlling is good. But now when he checks 2 streets there, I think it is a value bet after I checked the turn. But he ends up calling me with better, so I can think from now that I have a very big feeling that this guy Trent win probably a reg on the standard tag fish type, because he played like his king queen totally standard for like a tag fish there in my mind, and I don't think he is gonna be a strong player ever, because a strong player would have check raised that river at least small for value like every time in my mind, because there is no way I'm beating him when we get on the river. There's like no end in my range that I am beating him, and when he check raised, he could have represented what would be a busted draw and hope to get called by worse on the river. And I don't ever have better than king queen after checking back the turn. So yeah, just that end shows me that this Trent win guy is gonna be in my mind the type of guy who is gonna pot control a lot, play pretty tight, and yeah, like I said, pot control a lot and play very like straightforward open book poker, and I'm gonna try to take advantage of that later in the session. I'm gonna 3-bet people, and so yeah, I'm willing to play a bit looser in the beginning of the session against players that I don't know, because it has a couple of advantages. First, like I said, I can get reads pretty quick on people. Quicker than if I was playing tight and not getting into spots against them. And second, I'm giving myself an image of a what the hell, what is it with the overbet shoving from everyone? Can't do anything else but fold. So yeah, I'm getting reads pretty early, and I'm creating like myself an image to get paid later in the games. So yeah, here Angelino, he calls out of position my 3-bet, then check raise pretty quick here, so there's not that much to like to get out of that as a type of player he might be. But what I've learned from that is that he is probably likely to not get not let himself get crushed all session long. He is the type of guy who is probably gonna play back me. So yeah, on table 2, Angelino type of guy to play back on 3-bet pots. Calls OP and check. Raise flop once. Alright, so that's one thing I'm gonna keep in mind for the rest of the session if that kind of spot happens again. Oh my god. Wait a minute, I'm screwing that pretty hard. Fund. Maybe I should install Word on this computer, but yeah, I'm gonna try to go with. I thought a notepad. Alright, that's perfect. Notepad would do the job just perfectly for that. Good old notepad. I'm gonna do something like table 1, table 2, and table 3. Alright. Cool. So yeah, we've played not even 10 hands against player right now, and we have some sort of meta game already installed, and we did that by playing pretty loose. And this game, this kind of meta game, and the kind of image that I am already creating myself, I'm gonna be using that later in the session for sure. So that's something I want to do early in the session. Start very wild out of the gate, and then adjust to that. Because another thing is that when I am used to do that kind of thing, like going very strong at the beginning and creating like a very maniac image and creating a very strong metagame against players, I'm putting myself in a spot that I know what I'm doing because I'm used to do that, and other players they're just not used to that, and a lot of them, especially at limits like NL200, just don't know how to adapt to a lag player and don't know how to recognize when he's gonna switch gears and stuff like that. So creating myself a loose image, especially when I'm used to that, is gonna play to my advantage a whole lot later in the session. I don't think I missed any interesting spot. Here, check. Everyone checked pretty quick. I think I get away with a pot size bet, trying to represent the jack here, hoping that none of them has a jack. That's what I do. Like, nobody just seemed interested in that pot. And with 3 people in, they're not very likely to call me with playing the board, hoping for a split pot, because we're 3 heads up. They're more likely to do that, but not 3 people in. So that was a great spot for me to bluff. So yeah, like on table 1, we know that this guy is likely to suck. This guy is likely to play me back from now on. This guy sucks, but he's sit out. Okay, so I'm gonna use one of my notes right away. I'm gonna 3-bet this guy once again. He played me back, but he played me back pretty weird by like 4-betting too small. So with my 4-5 suit, if he's doing that again, I'm gonna be willing to take a flop in position, 200 big blinds deep, and then try to do something out of that. And one other thing is that since he already did it once, in my mind he's less likely to did it another time. When you kind of put a lot of pressure on people right at the start of a session, and he's playing and people are playing back at you very quick. Like the first time he's playing back at you, the second time he's not very likely to play back again, because he's like in his mind, okay, I launched him a message and he's probably gonna calm down from now on, so I'm just gonna be quiet for later spots. But he did it again, so we'll see how this turns out. And I decided to call AI River pretty much the nuts. Wait a second. I'm gonna 3-bet here. I'm gonna shove here. I'm gonna check here. By betting. Yeah, by betting, I think like he's likely to have ace king a lot, and I'm gonna be able to take him off of ace king on later street. Like on the turn, if I check back the flop, I could have represented something like tens or even ace queen that wanted to pot control the flop in this situation. But now with the ace on the turn, I think, like I said, he has ace king a lot, even when he's checking again, and I no longer think I can make him fold ace queen, ace king here. He's probably calling a bit anyway. So it might be something like tens, but I don't even know if he's folding. Yeah, nines. Yeah, okay. So we know a lot more from this guy now. I didn't want to bet the flop because, like I said, I think I'm likely to get, like, sometime he's gonna check the flop with something like aces or kings, or just for pot control or trying to induce or something like that. On the turn, if he had ace king, I thought, like, by checking back the flop, I thought I would be able to take down the pot on the turn if he had ace king by betting the turn, but the turn came an ace, which is kind of bad card for me, and he checked again, but I think he's playing ace king just like that by checking the turn again on such a board, so I decided to take another free card. And then on the river, I can't really represent anything plausible, and he's very likely to call with pretty much anything. I could have bet the river, but I think it's pretty close, because he still could have any ace, or pretty much the only ends I'm gonna be trying to make him fold is like nines or tens, and that's what he ended up having. So maybe a small mistake on my part, but I did get some precious info about this guy. We already knew that his size is 4 bets pretty small. 4 bets OP 100G vs 100 with 99. So yeah, he's not the type of guy who is gonna be afraid to play for his 200 big blinds by 4-betting pocket 9 here. I don't know exactly if he wanted. He probably would have folded to like a 5-bet shove or whatever. This was probably a type of like value bluff 4-bet, but we know that he is capable of doing that. What we don't exactly know is if he is capable of doing that because he is very strong, because strong players will do that here, or if he's very like fishy and just a maniac, and that's what we'll find out. But yeah, we have already a pretty big meta game installed between me and this guy, and in my mind that is gonna play to my advantage a lot later in the session, because I think I'm way better than him playing deep and playing for stack, playing for 200 big blind stacks lighter than what he is probably used to. So we'll try to play with that going down the session. I know the 4-5 like pre-flop with the 4-5, that was far from standard, but like I said, I want to go out and start a session very, very wild, so I create myself an image, and etc, etc. What I was talking you guys about. Here I raise under the gun 5-7 suit. The big blind, who we already know is a big fish, leads into us. We have like, I don't know exactly what is his leading range, but we have a pair and an open, so there's not much else than that we can do than like call here and reevaluate. I'm just probably gonna fold here, since C-Walk represents so much strongness here, and he could have like C-Walk could have either a set or like 8-7 or 6-7. That is just crushing us. Here I'm gonna call with my okay. So we have a lot of info on both of these guys from now. on. So SA, place top pair like it's the mother fucking nuts, and C walk 2K3. Oh my god. Playing 10-10 very fast on a dangerous 8-6-5 board. So yeah, we have some more info on both of these guys. So yeah, basically I'm gonna give it this guy the color of the fish, because he looks like the absolute fish who's just gonna print us money. So I'm gonna try to use that to my advantage. I have pretty much, even my regular game, I have 2 color cards actually, and that is one of the ultimate fish and one of the short stack. And I saw this guy short staking on table 3 as well. So he is one of these rat holing piece of crap. So yeah, I'm gonna give him the crap color because I hate him by now. So yeah, let's just hope that we get some more spots to play like a maniac. I'm gonna 3-bet that just to see again. I already 3-bet him once and he played me back, and that's again my theory of the second time he's way less likely to play me back, since he already played back at me once. He's more likely to just chill out and like, okay man, I'll give you this one. Tells himself something like that. Here I'm obviously not folding after flopping a super duper flop, and after installing myself a pretty nice image. That's a pretty weird turn card here. His range is gonna be ace queen, king queen a lot to call this flop. Weaker aces, I can't really bet that turn because I think he's gonna fold every weaker aces, and he's gonna pay me with like king queen and up, which I beat none of that. I think I could check and try to like pot control. All I have to look at here is if I have the odds to it. I pretty much have my ace is good, like in my mind pretty much every time, but not every time. My diamond will be good pretty much every time as well. Let me count that really quick. I think I have like plus the fact that I'm gonna have the best 10 sometimes here. I think this is a call and probably a check fold on the river. He's not bluffing the rest of his stack like ever anyway. So yeah, that's a call and a check fold on the river. I kind of sucks, but the turn kind of sucked. Any other turn I would have been here I'm gonna call because we're 200 big blinds deep and I'm drawing to the stone cold nuts against that horrid fish who could like open shove if I hit the nuts. So I decided to just hit my draw and get it in. But yeah, like I said on the ace jack hand here, any other turn I'm like bet calling pretty much any other turn than a queen. Queen is like one of the worst cards in the deck for me. So I decided to check call with my implied odds with my jack of diamonds, plus the fact that he might have a weaker ace that he decided to bet on the turn sometimes and that he's going to check back on the river. I think folding would be a small mistake here. I'm just going to limp back like any hand against this guy, especially 200 big blinds deep, because I want him to dump me a stack sooner or later. I know he's just going to do that when he hits top pair and I hit like a set. He's just gonna never ever gonna fold. So yeah, I think the ace jack hand was pretty standard actually. But I'm gonna take note of that. Check raising on the first hand, that's what he did. 2 people calling, don't think I can make them fold ever. I'm gonna check this pair of 3. And check raising. Calls 3-bet in position. then gets away with the pot later when the board got ugly for me. Alright. I'll check call one street here, see if he's the type of guy who shuts down after a street or if he's gonna keep betting into me. So yeah, he keeps betting, so he's likely to be pretty aggressive. Merit 21. Likely to be on the aggressive side of a player, if that makes any sense. Yeah, just because of the line he took there, he's very likely to play pretty aggressive. Here I get check raise on that board. I decided to bet for value. I could have checked, but I'm not checking that often. I'm gonna call and reevaluate. I think that's the standard play once again. On that turn, if he bets strong, I think I'm gonna have to fold here against an unknown. Yeah, he's like check raising the flop in my mind with either like ace queen or flush draw, sometimes jack 10. But I don't think I can call because I'm gonna get shoved so often. I'm gonna get shoved so often on the river, and even if my N is good, I'm not gonna know on the river because in that spot I'm gonna get shoved a lot, like I said. On that table, that's pretty weird from Mary 20. Alright, that's like super nice. Let's go, let's see what they have. But yeah, likely to be more of a donkey of the jack hand. That was just horrible on his part, I think, playing it like that. At least, I mean, just the quick call of the cold 3-bet here gives me an idea that he is like he might have been a dunk doing that with pretty much anything, but now we know that he had jack, which is pretty standard, but the bet call on the flop is just horrible. When I've just 3-bet a under the gun opener from the button, he can't profitably like lead call his jacks here, but that might be like that he did that either because of the way I've been playing, which is really possible, or because he's just an over aggro Mongol, and that's what we're gonna discover. So yeah, on table 2, merit, they're gonna decide a player over aggro Mongol. Oh. Sorry. So like I said, the more it goes, the more we have some history between guys, and that was a pretty good example of how I am gonna be dealing with my whole stack better than the rest of them. Just because I'm playing loose, I know that these guys are gonna be likely to like risk their whole stack in spots that it is clearly not time to. But I know when to shut down and when to be aggressive. Even if I'm playing super aggressive, I know like basically I am the one controlling the game now, and they are gonna be reacting to what I do, and I can, if I do that correctly, I can make them do pretty much whatever I want. Here I get lead. I get dunk lead. This guy looks like pretty tight, over 56 cents. He's playing 39. I'm pretty scared here of getting like bet 3-bet in that spot by something like ace queen, like stone cold nuts or 2 pairs or something like that. I think I have not that strong of a hand right now, but like a very good hand to take the showdown, plus it's some cool outs. So yeah, I'm just gonna call. He bets 40, which is a lot. That looks like the nuts, like a lot to me. To two big dunk leads in a row. That looks like a pretty big hand to me. So what I'm gonna do is like try to hit full house or flush here, or pretty much go home if he bets big again. I think I'm beat pretty much always if he bets like 100 something once again here on that type of board. I don't think he thinks that I'm gonna be folding with my queen deuce on table one. I'm just, yeah, he's betting 120 with the line he's taken. I don't think right now that I don't think that he thinks that I'm gonna be folding to that bet. I think that he thinks that I have something like a king or king queen, like something like that, and he is way more likely with that line to be trying to take me to value town, way more than trying to bluff me, especially with his like stats he has right now. I'm just gonna fold that one. I don't give NL200 credit for dunk lead bluffing me 3 streets in a row here, and I'm pretty much only beating a bluff in my mind because of his bet sizing. So yeah, table 2. You pay for my M6. Crazy event. I kind of remember playing against this guy. It 3-bets 55. I think it's shove here. I think it's really close, but I think I have to shove with that ace queen. And I run into aces. Whatever. That was pretty close, but I think it's shove. And especially when I want to, like, I think I have pretty good fold equity there, plus good fold equity, like I said, and oh my god. So he checks call, flush hits, dunk leads the pot. That looks like flush. Lot could be a naked 9, but then again, too many flushes possible. Could be a weird ace or something. I'm just gonna fold that one. Alright. So yeah, you pay for my M6. I was there, dunk leads, but with 3 streets with what looked like the nuts. And I called the turn. The turn I was like pretty sure I was beaten, but I think I do have to call because I have great implied with my flush and or my full house, because I think he's very strong. Plus I'm gonna be good sometimes. Sometimes he's gonna have a draw himself when he's dunk leading both flop and turn, and I expect him to shut down a lot on the river when he misses. So yeah, I thought I would be good a lot. I don't think I could have folded turn, even though my read was that he was pretty strong at the time. Alright guys, this is gonna end part 1 of my series. It is gonna be a 3-part series, pretty long session, divided into 3 videos. To be honest, I think part 1 was like the weakest one of the 3, just because of the format. Because in part 2 and 3 I do start using my reads a lot more, and it makes for better action, better vids. I still think part 1 is pretty good, but yeah, stay tuned for part 2 and 3. They are gonna like blow your mind away. Meanwhile, this was Martin Fournier for BlueFirePoker. Hope you enjoyed it, and good night.